Welcome to the Circle of Geekdom Vidcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Sean.
Let's talk about some geeky. What the fuck is that?
It's my steering wheel.
Why?
Just cruising, man.
This
That's a
social
bullshit
distancing
answer.
is fucking with you something fierce, isn't it?
That's right. Just
Yeah.
driving down the road, you know. I gotta pretend. Beep beep. Learn to drive.
Yeah. As you say it to the
No, but,
wall. Like, do you fall
no,
in
but
love with the
actually,
wall?
it's for Formula One,
Really?
and also it's also that which also has to do with coronavirus because as of March 12th, when they started canceling everything, they also canceled sport. Sport's done. They canceled it for 2020 at this point.
Everything is canceled at this point now, or at least
I've got
heavily
literally
delayed.
I don't think anything's still running, or at least anything like substantial. I guess football can potentially kind of go ahead with their off season as planned, but
Which
anything
football?
that's
America football or world football?
America
America football.
ball.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
But
Freedom ball.
I did learn something though. You'll be proud of me though. I know now that the XFL though is done for the rest of the season though.
Oh, I didn't know that because I don't
Oh,
follow
I
the
knew a
XFL.
sport thing.
You knew a sport thing. You did. I did not know that. I knew Major League Rugby was done for the season.
Okay, yeah. Because at least your thing wasn't brought to you by the WWE.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
Oh, how are you doing with all this stuff?
I would say better than most, probably.
Yeah.
Because I feel like for gamers, like, and two levels, like we got this because it's like social distancing. Oh, I just stay at my house. Okay, fine.
Done.
I'm like, I got switched over to working remotely for the most part as of this coming Monday. So I get to work from home, which is my dream.
Yeah.
And then, the other aspect of that for gamers is like, we've done nothing but play apocalypse games forever. We know how to survive.
Do we though?
Maybe.
I don't know. I know the in theory concept of it. I do. After playing games like Left 4 Dead and Last of Us, but now
I
it's
gotta
like
say, from
it's.
playing a lot of,
Mhm.
I've been playing, you play a lot of Borderlands. I've got at least the catch a ride part. I've got that down. I've got 2 rides to catch, plus my daughter's little Power Wheels Jeep, if it really came down to it. I mean, you can't outrun anything,
Yeah,
but, it exists.
it does. Yeah, it's
But yeah, I'm just kind of hunkering down, chilling.
It's a weird thing now too. Like we're now living in a world where, like, going to the grocery store could be a serious, like, the cause of like a serious medical condition now. Like what happened? Like I need to go fucking get avocados, and now I'm quarantined.
So what we've done is, I mean, it's not like the greatest idea of all time, but anytime something has to be gotten from a store, only I go. I get in my car and
Yeah, is that why the wheels are too? You're practicing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I practice go-kart driving while driving my regular car. Just kind of
Driving in
get out of the
the
way,
wasteland.
Karen. Pretty much, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I do all of any of the shopping that we have to do. I'll run and zip over and do that, which is fine with me. I don't touch anything anyway, and I already wash my hands a million times. I'm like a low-key germaphobe since I was like 15. I wash my hands 20, 40 times a day anyway. So like this stuff, they're like, wash your hands. I'm like, duh.
Yeah.
I've been doing it.
Oh, like, and have you tried going to a grocery store like the last couple of weeks too?
Mm-hmm. I've gone to my local HEB several times. They're out of like the crazy panic buying stuff, but I think from the time I spent in Europe, and like we went to local shops just for shits and giggles to buy like random crap to have at the hotel if we got hungry. I'm used to seeing less options on a shelf. Like I go into HEB or Target, back in like February when this wasn't a big deal, and to me it's just aisles and aisles of excess.
Yeah.
So, when I go in there and I'm like, oh no, there's only 4 options for, lunch meat, which I'm not buying anyway, but I went there and I had like a random list of stuff, and like all the vegetables and produce I wanted to buy, they had. The one meat product that I wanted to get was like those ready made, but you can throw them in the frying pans, like Jimmy Dean sausages.
Yeah.
So good. I got those, and they had them. They had like 4 packs, and I grabbed 2 because I was like, well, I know I'm planning to do this meal at least twice. So yeah, but no, I haven't really had any much issue. Milk hasn't been an issue, but that's we switched over Christmas break, I think, to like the Horizon milks, and those get bought less because people just want their regular like Borden or whatnot. But yeah, I haven't had too many problems with the things that we want to get to actually go and get them. So I don't know if it's bad. Maybe I'm just having a much more enjoyable time with the apocalypse than the average person.
Does it feel like the apocalypse to you, or does it feel just more like right? It's a weird. To me, it's a mixed bag. It really is.
It
Traffic is
is a mixed
phenomenal
bag.
now.
It's a mixed bag because on the one hand, it's like it's crazy that you're thinking about like we're basically shutting things down. Like California is the most populous state, and they're just like locked down, which is we should lock down Florida because Florida be dumb. Um, but like that stuff is kind of crazy. But then the other things to me that I think is actually like fine and dandy and rational is like to a certain extent the social distancing and like hand washing and things like that and like general sterilization and stuff like to me that's like that's basic logic like you should be doing some of this stuff anyway like we don't need to be on top of each other as people all the time
Yeah.
even when you live in like larger cities and stuff it's I don't know. I am bummed out that I found out that so many of the things that I thought were great, like the animal related things, were all fake. That bummed me out.
Animal related.
The other things where it's like, oh, the environment's already kicking back. There's dolphins in Italy and geese in Venice, and those were all fake.
Really?
Yeah, the geese are in a different part of like the Venice area, so not like Greater Venice. And then the dolphins were actually in Sardinia, which is not Italy.
Mm.
Makes me sad. I was like, yes, maybe this will be like the like kick in the junk that people need to be like, damn, we really should take the environment like seriously and be better when all this is like that's my big hope. Like when all this shit like settles down, like people are like, let's be more clean as
Yeah.
people and let's be better about everything. Like I don't know. I kind of hope this like makes more people not minimalist, but like less like over the top in excess with shit they buy because so much food goes to waste. Like it's almost nice being like, okay, I may not be able to go back to the store to buy this thing again. I need to make sure I don't waste this. So it's like, oh fuck, I left the butter out. Put it in the fridge, quick.
Yeah.
You know that kind of stuff.
I kind of think we're gonna be like that way for like a year, and then it's like, we good? We good? Like the second,
Hmm.
like if we ever like get like a legit like vaccine for this, where it becomes like a nothing issue, like in a year or so, we're gonna go right back to it again because we're gonna get complacent.
Yeah.
It's gonna.
American capitalism and our me need more mentality will kick in for the
Mhm.
masses, and we'll be spending and buying and consuming at the same rate that we were 6 months ago
Yeah.
without a care in the world.
I also gotta
It's
think
funny.
there's a
Oh,
good
go ahead.
comparison for this too, because like if you look at your background, where like and you adopt that minimalist lifestyle, and then you look at my fucking background.
I have stuff though. I have stuff like I got some. Let me see. I got stuff up there. You can't really see them. They're my nano blocks of the
Oh, that's
little tiny
cool.
Lego kind of things. I've got about 15 of them. Some more that aren't built. They're gonna go. I'm gonna have another set of these little ones off
Mhm.
to this side. But yeah, they're there.
Yeah.
Some of the ones that we've actually like physically been to, those are ones that I'm actually gonna like make like a different frame because I have a picture like I have like uh Arc de Triomphe, Notre Dame, and the Eiffel Tower, and we've been to all of those. So I have pictures that match up with those that at some point we would plan or had a plan to do something different with them. But yeah, I have stuff. I just don't have as much stuff as other people. But there's nothing wrong with your stuff. If somebody wants to go back and find like whatever the Sean teaches us minimalism episode thing, it doesn't have to necessarily be you have no things. It's just you have no excessive things that don't inherently bring value or joy to your life. Like I don't need this T-shirt that I just bought. I'm gonna show off my T-shirt because I'm fucking proud of my T-shirt.
Yeah, that's a good
If you know what
T-shirt.
if you know what this is, you're awesome and you had a great childhood. If you don't, Octan was the Lego gas company. Provided all the gas for all the Legos. Started in 1992.
Nice.
And for whatever reason, it's always been my favorite. I think that's one of the reasons I liked Ferraris and I like Italian kind of like color scheme is because I identified with Octan as a kid. I was like, oh, I love the gas company.
Yeah.
So, but yes, it's like I don't need this shirt, but I bought it because I was like, I really, really want it.
Yeah.
And it's car related and kind of geeky and nerdy. So I was like, this is going to be my shirt to wear to a race if it ever happens.
Yeah.
Like, on the flip side, though, if it does happen, I mean, my trip to New York in July could turn into a doubleheader race if everything goes like good. I don't think it will, but wishful thinking.
Yeah. For me, it's like in May I was supposed to be going to DreamHack, which is going to be the first time I was ever going to go to one of those, which I was super excited for. And then once all this stuff started happening, I was thinking like, okay, this is totally going to get canceled. And I got the email. Which, side note, like, I've gotten so many spam emails from every company I've ever shopped at in the history of ever telling me that, like, we are taking every precaution, every step. And it's like, okay. It's just, it's kind of weird mixing. On the one hand, I'm the asshole for saying, like, okay, I get it. You bought hand sanitizer for your folks. Which also, there's no way I can say that out loud without making me sound like an absolute jackass. But on the other hand,
it's better than me.
There should be like one universal email saying like, "We good, guys, we good," or like we're shutting down for the day until everything's back normal.
Yeah, it's a big deal when like the porn company sends you a notice. We're doing every precaution. All of our models will be in full latex now.
Well, as like I end up seeing this thing like Pornhub is apparently giving everybody in Italy like whatever their premium service is, like it's free through the end of the month to encourage folks to stay home, which is like,
yeah, that's a sound. Oh, this just went very blue.
That worked on two levels. Yeah, like DreamHack got postponed until August. QuakeCon may still happen. I don't know. We'll see. I know the NCAA was canceled. I think is NFL still a thing, or is that done?
I don't remember if anything's been postponed because they don't actually start doing like preseason stuff until like August. So they've got a solid.
Right.
Yeah, but like everything else, so like basketball, hockey, all car racing, tennis, Olympic sports. The Olympics could be threatened because they're in Japan, but Japan's okay. They're not as good as Korea. South Korea is like the greatest place in the world apparently because they're just like, oh well, we wear masks and we're clean anyway. So, and we tested like everyone we could find.
Yeah,
they had like a 4% rating of people who took tests that came back positive because they just test anyone.
Yeah,
they're like, you sick? Take this test. Okay, you're good. Get out.
Yeah, you just got the flu. You're fine.
I had a friend that lived in Korea for a while. I think she actually is due to go back. I don't know how that's going to work, but yeah, we have another trip. We're going back to San Diego again this summer.
Yeah,
maybe it's the end of June when we're supposed to go, but who knows? Which would be a real bummer if it didn't, because it's a work type trip for my wife, but for me and my daughter, it's just for fun. So like while she's doing her, I'm important school personnel person. I'm just going to hop in the rental car and drive half an hour up to Carlsbad and take my daughter to Legoland.
What is there to do actually in Legoland besides buy Legos and build Lego stuff? Is there like shows and shit?
There is. I don't know if they have shows per se. I think they have something like that, but they have like a parade. They have rides. They have like a little kid roller coaster, like a middle kid roller coaster, and like a tween roller coaster. They have two different like little driving areas, like their kind of like go-kart type thing where the kids can get a Lego driver's license.
Hmm.
They have a whole water park. They were supposed to have a brand new whole section of the park dedicated to the Lego movies, which is super cool because my kid just got into those. Like she has a little stuffed Emmett that she carries around all the time and things like that. There's a lot to do. And plus, it's always been my dream to go to Legoland since I was like 10 and they opened it.
Okay.
And then I became an adult, and you can't go without a kid because, then it's just, you look like a predator.
There's guys like, oh, where's your kid? Like, I don't have a kid. Just really
I haven't picked one out yet.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
That kind of, yeah. But yeah, so anyway,
like, Disneyland and Disney World closed down.
Exactly. I think, let me see if this is I think this is the fun fact with Disneyland. They, until they closed for coronavirus, have only been closed 3 times.
Yeah.
And it was like the JFK assassination. I think one part of like the Vietnam War, and then like one other time, and I can't. And 9/11, I think is what it was. Like that's how serious this needs to be taken. If Disneyland only closed 3 times prior to this, and they've been closed, like that's how you know this shit is real.
Right.
But
on the other hand, though, GameStop apparently.
Oh my god!
All the fucking time.
They were not essential retail back when we worked there.
No, they're
definitely
not.
The last time I bought something at a GameStop, I bought a Pathfinder Funko Pop, and I literally think the last thing I bought before that was another Funko Pop, but like years ago. No, it was when I was still playing Paper Magic, and it was when they had like these weird awkward percentage sales on like booster packs.
Yeah.
So you could get like a booster pack for like $1.33, and I was like, sold. That's like 78% off. So yeah, I bought something at GameStop in 2019, and I bought something at GameStop in 2016. None of them were games. Not a purchase was over $20.
Yeah.
I don't know the last time. The last time I bought a physical video game, I bought from Target, and it was the last Lego Star Wars game, because if you bought it, it came with a limited edition Finn, where it had him, where he like landed in the desert, so his like stormtrooper uniform's all dirty looking.
Yeah. Okay.
Super cool. Which, moving on to video games, actually, if you want to actually segue into video games,
let's do that.
I think right now the tentative release date is December 31st of 2020. But they have a Lego Star Wars game that is the Skywalker Saga. So all 9 main movies and the first 6 games are all completely redone.
Nice.
They're not just like reskinning over the old ones. They are completely redoing top to bottom all 9 movies, which that'll be pretty damn cool.
That would be, yeah.
But I want to hear about. I want to hear about this game over here with the big bubbly helmet.
Oh,
I don't know if it looks like. Am I pointing at the right thing on your screen?
You are. That is like dead on. Like you are like legit pointing at it correctly. Yeah, look at that. I picked up Doom Eternal.
How great would it be if I went like this and I had the actual?
That would be so. That would be some good special effects right there. So yeah, I ended up picking up 2 games because I did go back home Thursday night and I just got back this afternoon. I got my copy of Doom Eternal, which came with the collector's edition, which if you check out our Circle of Geekdom YouTube page, you'll see the unboxing video for that. And if you're watching this, that means you're already on YouTube, so click the previous video. And I also end up picking up Animal Crossing because the folks who I play Final Fantasy 14 with are all taking a break from 14 to play Animal Crossing, and I am nothing if not a slave to trends. And I ended up getting a gift card from work, so I was like, okay, what else is out there that I really want to play? And there wasn't really an answer to that, so I was like, all right, we'll give this a shot. And I spent like today, like I only intended to play the game while Doom was being installed, and I'm playing that fucking game for 4 hours.
What is Animal Crossing? Because in my head, Animal Crossing is Harvest Moon 64.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, they're like, next topic. No. It is. It's just like a very chill, just life sim of you are like the only human in an island full of animal monsters, and it's just you just do whatevs. You decorate your house, you go fishing, you plant crops, you make friends with the other monsters, and there's seasonal events. But it is so goddamn chill and
That sounds
relaxing.
boring as fuck.
It does until you play it and you're like,
I
4 hours
know.
just flew by.
I spent an inordinately large amount of time playing Viva Pinata when the 360 came out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, just imagine a more refined that. Minus possibility of breaking pinatas on the regular. I'm sure there's like events where you can break pinatas, but
yeah, but
like,
Viva Pinata had this weird undertone of basically just mass breeding your pinatas and selling all of their children.
ugh,
That was actually the fastest way to make money. Was
really?
to, yeah, you just kept breeding.
Mm-hmm.
When you figured out how to like catch, so to like get like the fox, you had to get like the bird, right? But in order to get the initial bird to come settle in your little pinata farm, you had to have X number of worms. I think it was 5. I don't remember. We'll say it's 5.
Okay.
So you have to
12.
get a male worm, get a female worm, and then you make them breed, and then they boom, and then they have a little pinata egg, and then pops a little like baby worm, and so you keep doing this. You can also, because the worms are just coded as like male, all the species are male female, right? So they're just coded that way. There is no sort of like parental lineage. So you could literally make like you could do like a Cain and Abel weird awkward, you know.
Really?
Uh-huh. And so you can
Ooh,
just, so you generate, you make all the baby worms, right? So then a
yeah.
bird comes, and the bird will not initially eat any of the worms necessarily, but then to get a fox to come, you have to have the birds, and the fox has to eat a bird in order to like stay. And so you have to do that, and then like you can sell them to other kind of entities in the game to make money, to be able to spruce up your place to attract bigger and better pinatas. Like
Ah,
it's weird.
weird.
It was it's still to me one of the most beautiful games ever made. I love the way it looks, but
Yeah.
yeah, when you, it's one of those things when you sit down and you do what I do and just completely overthink and delve way too mentally deep into it, you go, I feel bad about myself.
Well, that's what. There's a video on YouTube. I think it's from like Did You Know Gaming, where it came up with the idea for Animal Crossing that it's actually a cult simulator. Because again, you are the outsider in a world full of animals. You're the only human, and they immediately indoctrinate you. Because like one of the first things that happens is you get a house, and one of the characters is a Tanuki named Tom Nook. So Tom Nook Tanuki. Um, Indeed. And as soon as you get your house, like, oh, cool, here's your little shithole house, and here's debt. And so they immediately get you looped in, where now you have to start doing all the activities around. In previous games, the village or town. Now it's an island, a series of islands.
I don't know. Sounds just
To
like adulthood.
right, but but you basically just start like indoctrinating yourself into their culture, being the outsider. But like you're constant, but it's revolving always around debt. Like you're always about clearing out the debt to do upgrades and updating your house and stuff. Like my character right now just cleared his first set of debt, and in theory, because the
Sounds
way
like
games
Scientology.
I could just stop upgrading my house at that point and then just do everything else. But the idea of the game though is to keep expanding and growing, which means that you need to start build on your house more, which means you incur once you clear out your old debt, you now incur new debt, and then the cycle continues. Um,
What if you just don't pay your debt? Like, is there like an Animal Crossing bookie? Does like a really like pissed off looking like tarantula like guy come over and like beat your ass?
Not for that. So the game actually like again it's part of that kind of like cult mentality of like oh you just kind of pay whenever you just but the idea though is that you're gonna pay you just do it at your leisure, which is
I wonder how possible in that game, how like mathematically, like how much in debt you could get and just still keep progressing, but like never pay anything.
well that's a way to upgrade your home. Like Nook only is responsible for your actual real estate. So I mean you could do all the other stuff in the game and just never pay off your debt. Um, the only thing where I think the game will mess with you is if you stop playing, and that's where the game gets weird too. Is that somebody on stream was telling me that if you stop playing the game, if you go like a week without playing, like weeds will start popping up around the islands. People will start getting upset because like their shit wasn't taken care of, and it kind of apparently will chastise you a little bit for not playing, which again kind of culty.
I will not be buying
Yeah,
Animal Crossing.
it's like it is objectively it is super adorable. And I
It
do I
sounds
have
like
after
it.
playing it, I do get the appeal of the game for it. But also I also need to kind of remind myself too. Is, like I started like I was in a mood for a drink, so I made a white honey, which is bourbon, lemon juice, honey, and a cinnamon stick. So it's a little different from a hot toddy. I ended up having like three full big glasses of that. So I was actually drunk for like at least 2 out of 4 of the hours to be streaming it. Then food came, so I took a break and then played Doom for like maybe 30 minutes, and that's when you texted me to record this. So that's why I was saying like 10 more minutes, is because I was stuck in a fight. I really wanted to get through it.
I was in the middle of racing.
Yeah. Um, so I went from playing one of the cutesiest games that just came out to one of the most hardcore violent games that ever came out. So like my brain was like shifting from like let's just go like get some fish and let's go shake some trees for currency to how can we most creatively kill this motherfucker. Um,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
that's
and I'm
that's a
still
good
kind of recovering from
transition.
it. Yeah, I'm still recovering from the hangover that I. It's have you ever been drunk then hungover at this within the span of the same day?
Yes,
Yeah.
I went to Austin one time, and we decided to come back early, which meant like wake up at like 5 a.m. to drive back instead of waiting till later. And then I got back, and I actually went to work, and my coworker's like, "Sean, are you hungover?" And I was like, "I don't know, man. I might still be drunk." And then I think later that night, I think we went out and got drunk again.
Oh, yeah.
Early 20s, man.
Yeah. So yeah, drinking at 36. Whew.
I got drunk for my first time in my 30s, like last
Really?
month.
Last month?
Yeah, yes, hadn't gone out at all after my since my daughter was born, and so that would be well, no, hang on, that might not be my first time getting drunk because we had our Hallmark drinking game. First time going out and drinking.
Ah,
There we go.
yeah.
And it was pretty fun. Pretty fun. I don't remember how much I had. I stopped. I think I had 3 mojitos, but I usually stop counting mojitos at 3. And I had X number of pints of cider, which I just never count those because that's not fun.
Nah.
There's a bar here in town that has this like weird like game where it's like a metal ring on like a string, right? And the goal is to go like you hold it up basically like a pendulum,
Uh-huh.
and like let's say like this is the wall, right? There's a hook that comes out of the wall or whatever, and I don't know, it's hard to do. So it looks like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the goal is to get the pendulum with the string to come over and try and hook itself on it.
Yeah. I'm
But you
with you.
can't just go straight up and hit it because it won't hook. So like I finally saw the game, and my wife was like, "Oh, you'd probably be good at it," and she would not shut up about it, and all she would say is, "You go like this," like that's it. Just imagine Danielle just going, "You go like this,"
Yeah.
over and over again. And I finally saw it, and I very quickly realized the trick of the game is you can't go straight. You have to kind of do like this little curve thing,
Mm-hmm.
so that way when it comes up, it hits it at the side and then just banks over. So yeah, I did it probably 30 times while we were there.
Nice.
She's like, "You got it again?" I was like, "Yeah, and I'm gonna try it left-handed." And got it, and she's like, "Yeah, I hate you." I was like, "Why?" You said you thought I'd be good at it. Turns out I was.
Like you knew physics.
Yeah, I was like, it has to go this way.
Yeah.
You can't just But yeah, that was fun.
Nice.
That's a yeah. How did we get here? I don't know.
Mm. Because we were talking
But
about
yes,
games. Oh, and me drinking, and then that's when you decided to tell a story about how you're a badass at bar games.
I was not so good at shuffleboard. Turns out I'm probably way better at shuffleboard sober because I remember being good at shuffleboard when I have been sober
Yeah.
before. After drinking, not as much. Fun though. It's
Yeah.
always fun playing shuffleboard. Yeah, it's like curling. It's the closest thing we can get in the South.
My game of choice to this day is still beer pong, honestly. So
I never got really into beer pong because I can't drink beer.
yeah.
So like it's
So
and
cider
it's
pong. The
I
cider
can
pong
do it with
rules.
that. I've never been somewhere where it's like here's a beer pong table. here's copious amounts of cider to be able to pour out 6 cups.
Yeah.
Were I to be in some place where those are there, I would totally be on that.
Yeah.
It is 6, right? I know it has to be a triangle, so it can only be 6 or 10.
10. I'm used to 10.
It's like full on like bowling, man. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, you're not rolling it into the cups. You're trying to.
Well, I know that, but I'm saying that.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, yeah, yes. But yeah, I was always the one who, every time I played beer pong, like I would walk away still sober, or I was just stop playing because I wanted to drink because I was just that good. Not to brag, not to be that guy who talks about how I'm amazing at stuff. But
yeah, I kept drinking to see if I could still do it. Well, the more I drank, and turns out I could.
Yeah.
I was even still able to do it after I got way past my I need to stop drinking limit, which is usually I start smoking.
Oh.
So, which is usually when that is, but yeah, it's still after like 2 cigarettes I still go. So, I don't know if that's the most interesting sounding thing to have, but yeah,
It's also just revealed. I never even knew you had even an inclination of smoking.
hmm
Yeah.
that is usually my like way too drunk tell.
Okay.
Is that because I will eventually, and I don't know if that's just a super drunk tell or if that's just you hit like a weird equilibrium where, because I had done smoking and stuff when I was a lot younger and or whatever, and I'm fairly certain I have a very addictive personality. So I don't know if it's like here's like you're like you're like lying here where it's like how much have you drank versus like how much is your like desire to resist feelings you don't want to have, and it's like okay, now I'm having a cigarette.
Yeah.
So but yeah, very very rarely, but it does happen.
I'm trying to think. I've had like 3 or 4 cigarettes in my life. When I have smoked, it was usually cigars or a pipe.
Cigar, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes with your pipe.
Yep, I actually. I didn't bring it back with me when I went to San Antonio, but I did actually have a pipe with me inside, like a little like. I had my little box that had my pipe, my the tobacco, like the stamper, all that stuff. It's gone now, but
No
yeah.
more Snarf Black.
Now, because part of also like where I'm working at now too is there's a humongous insurance premium reduction if you don't smoke. So I was like, okay, I'll just like I didn't smoke that often to begin with anyway. Like I hadn't even used my pipe at that point in at least 6 months, so it wasn't a huge like loss, but it was kind of I enjoyed the process of it. But like, it was one of those things that, like when people say like, oh, if you're told you couldn't drink anymore for the rest of your life, would you be okay with it? I'd be like, yeah, it'd be fine. It was kind of the same thing with like smoking. Like if they told me like I couldn't smoke a pipe or a cigar anymore for the rest of my life, I'd be like, okay. It's just
I don't know. I feel like if they said you could never drink again, I'd be a little bit bummed out.
I would be bummed about alcohol. I would.
Damn.
It's fantastic.
Like, can we just like pick one? Like, you can't have this anymore.
Yeah. So, like you can't have like Bud Light anymore. Like, oh no, not Bud Light. Oh no, damn. But I will say though, like playing Animal Crossing while being fairly inebriated was actually pretty goddamn fun. It really was.
I imagine it's pretty fun. I can't remember the last time what video game. It's probably a Lego one that we played under the influence of something.
Yeah.
It had to be Lego. That seems like something I would play. Maybe Halo way back in the day. I can't remember.
Yeah.
So
Halo's on PC now too.
I saw that. I saw you were playing that. I might have to pick that up. So
Yep.
let's see. Yeah, you're not interested in playing the new Call of Duty Battle Royale Warzone, are you?
No, because I still got Animal Crossing. I got Doom. I still have Final Fantasy 14 stuff. And if people have been watching the streams, I've been playing a lot of like stuff in my backlog library too. Like I finished Undertale 2 weeks ago. Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. I did like really long ass Chrono Trigger stream. Been doing a lot of retro stuff on weekends.
I saw the Chrono Trigger one. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, till I lost my shit that on Sunday.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, going up against the final boss while I was actually fighting Lavos. Like it was the last like 2 hours was me just absolutely getting ridiculously pissed off. And then thank God somebody on stream was actually like, "Oh, let's take a break here. Let me look at your inventory and or what everyone had equipped." And then they actually kind of guided me through what to change. And then the fight took like 7 minutes after that, in all 3 forms. Like, and then I beat the game. But yeah, like it was like furious at that game. Like almost was like rage quitting.
I find that games like that are much easier as you get older because, like any of the RPGs, like I remember playing, like Shining Force was very difficult for me as a child because I played it. How old would I have been when I played it? Like between 8 and maybe 12. Over that kind of time frame is kind of when I really played Shining Force. And you don't understand the mechanics as well. You're just into kind of the neat story to a certain point. But then playing it again as an adult now, I'm like, oh, I understand all the mechanics and the numbers and everything that goes into it. So I'm just like min maxing everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who can do this? Who does this? And I'm like, you can eventually figure out like the pathing of the creatures and figure out like, okay, if I get this close, they'll still come down. So you can almost trap them in a way because then if you back up, they back up too.
Yeah.
So you can almost kind of yo-yo the creatures around to like mess with stuff and things like that. Yeah, it's neat going back and playing the old games again. Like I'm like, I used to always go back and play Ocarina of Time.
Mm-hmm.
Every summer I would restart my game and play it over again. I haven't done it in about 5-6 years, but I used to always do that over the summer.
Sorry, I keep yawning. Not because you're like I'm just
Yeah.
tired. It's been a long day. I have not finished. I played it through Ocarina of Time when it first came out, and then it came out again on the 3DS. Never finished it.
I've probably played it all the way through maybe 8 or 9 times now.
Wow.
Time to think.
Yeah, only
Yeah,
once.
something like that.
I still have yet
That's
to
a fun game.
beat Majora's Mask. I never beat that one.
I don't even think I ever really played Majora's Mask.
It
The
was
concept
good.
was interesting, but I never played that. I never played Wind Waker.
That was good.
Oddly enough, the only two Zelda games I've ever beaten were not Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time, and then the Link's Awakening on the Game Boy.
Okay.
Only two I ever won.
Oh.
I played the original one very sparingly because that was more like a game my brother played.
Mm.
I never really played any of the other ones.
Yeah, I've beaten Link's Awakening, Ocarina, Phantom Hourglass, Twilight Princess, and Breath of the Wild. Those are the ones. Oh, and Link's Awakening too. I did beat that one.
I've beaten almost every single Lego game, and now that I think about it, I had something cool that I was super proud of that I made out of Lego, and I don't know where he went. So, let me see if he's over here. Did he fall down? I bet you he did. Some bitch, where'd he go? You know, you get excited about something, and then you can't find it, and then you just want to just burn the world down.
That's what I was whenever like you want to show somebody something really really cool on your phone, like it's oh my god this is gonna be amazing, and then you just get buffering and you're like fuck.
I made a little Lego robot minifigure out of just random pieces.
And it's gone.
And I don't know where he is. In all likelihood, my daughter probably snagged him and
That's
ran
what I was
off
about to
with
say.
him.
Maybe with your kid.
Well, she loves Legos, so she's my kid for sure.
Yeah.
She's a pain in the ass, so she's also my kid for sure. Oh well,
Yeah.
I don't know where he is. Maybe next week I'll find him. But yeah, he's this cool little guy. It started off with this one little piece that kind of looked like a jointed arm kind of thing, and I was like, I wonder if I could make like a little robot out of this, and I did.
Nice.
I was super happy. Yeah, him. He's pretty cool. I made him, and then the only other thing I've ever made out of Legos that I was really super proud of is actually this is a
Oh, your
phone
phone
stand.
stand. Yeah.
Yeah, this little guy. I made this thing when the first iPad came out,
Okay.
the first generation. I made it, and I was like, oh, works pretty well. Oddly enough, it still works even now with the phones being so much larger. I mean, I'm dropping it, so like it still fits with this. It fits with my wife's iPad Pro. So I'm like, man, I really knocked it out of the park with proportions on this guy. So super fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love Lego.
Are you still
Have
watching?
you watched?
Go you first.
I was gonna say, have you watched the Lego Masters yet, or no?
And I was about to ask you if you're still watching Lego Masters, because my answer is no. I've not watched it yet.
I still watch it. I'll just wait till it's all over and then binge the whole thing in one go.
Yeah.
It's really really cool.
Nice.
It is. It's it's fascinating. And Will Arnett's a great host too.
Yeah, I remember you saying because I was kind of curious, considering Will Arnett's kind of pedigree. Like, if is he gonna like kind of do it like straight, or is he gonna like just like basically talk shit to them without them kind of realizing, like just being like, I made a huge mistake doing this
He's
show.
he's he's hokey, Will Arnett, but I mean he's respectful to the people and the contestants and stuff. But he's still his kind of style, and he's actually a really really great host. And then the two Lego master builders they have there are really really cool. The one guy, and then I think his name's Jamie. Yeah, the guy is named Jamie, and I just blanked on the girl's name. But she's either Irish or Scottish. She's got one of those accents. She's super cool. She's so tall.
Really?
And I was like, yeah, she's such a badass too, because she's already super tall, but she still wears heels. So I'm just like, damn, that's awesome. You know,
And them being Lego Masters is because they've won like competitions before, or is it just like they're architects or?
no, they work for Lego and they
Oh,
design
okay.
sets. So like, Jamie won Toy of the Year with the Lego roller coaster, and he was the lead designer on that, and some of the other sets. Um, oh, I can't remember her name right now. But the female, she is the one who came up and created the entire concept for like the Friends collection and stuff,
Oh, okay.
which is super cool. The only thing I don't like about Friends is the minifigures aren't the same scale as regular minifigures, and
Mm.
they can't sit, and they don't have the same movement options.
Wow.
But other than that, they're really cool. The sets are really neat. They have a lot of colors and they have a lot of unique shapes, and they feel like more complete like scapes than some of the regular Lego sets of like similar size or cost.
Okay.
Like they had like a go-kart one that was like the pit and like five go-karts that the people fit in it, but they looked like real go-karts. Like they had that like kind of like weird hokey kind of width on them and stuff like that a regular go-kart has. Like that's really cool. And they're really neat. Like all the it's a recurring set of characters. All the Friends characters, like it's like Maya and Olivia or whatever. It's like, oh well, she's like a physics person, or like this person's like into math, or this one's into like sports, and it's cool. It's almost if you took like the concept of Barbie and all the other people, like Barbie used to have all her friends used to have different things. So like Courtney and Pepper and whatever, all that, and Stacy I think was another one of them.
Hmm.
I
See, I
don't know
was
if you've
time
heard
you talk
Barbie.
when you said friends, I was thinking like Monica and Phoebe and Joey and Chandler, like those
No,
friends.
that's from the Lego Ideas set. That's from that. There's the Lego Ideas stuff where someone makes their own Lego set, and then if it gets 10,000 votes, it can be built into an actual set.
Yeah. And actually,
But
is that how we got the Mario ones too?
no, Mario is actually a partnership between Lego and Nintendo,
Yeah, okay.
which I'm not sure in terms of the like play part of it is, but if you watch the preview video,
I did.
it's super neat. Like Mario looks almost like a cross between like a Funko Pop and then like the blockheads thing that Lego has,
Hmm.
and he interacts with different bases. So, like you put him on top of like the Goomba, it's like or
Right.
whatever. And then like if you put him next to the Flag, it's like makes like the da-da-da-da-da-da-da, all that. It's very like sound interactive and stuff, and it looks really really neat.
Hmm.
Um,
It
I
looks
will
expensive too.
I will probably find a way to try and buy as much of it as possible.
Hmm.
My only hope with that stuff though is they don't end up doing the same thing they do with some of the other like franchise or like licensed sets to where you end up with too many of one character.
Where you have
Like
like
the Star
13
Wars,
Marios or something, or
yeah, like if every set comes with Mario, that sucks
Mhm.
because I don't need a million Marios. Like I'm very curious on like what the set run is, like what's the scale. Because what you'd want to have is you would want to have like the smallest set, like in the little poly bags or little small boxes, would just be something really simple, like a Goomba and like a brick box,
Yeah.
just something basic like that. Or to have things where you can expand it, almost think of it as like a train instead of like, where you're actually building out a level. Because, yeah, you don't want to have a bunch of Marios, but like, is someone going to buy a set if it only has like Toad and like whatever? I'll tell you,
Yeah.
I'm depending on what's in that set. Even if I wouldn't buy the whole Mario one, like certain characters, I would 100% buy. Like if there was the red Koopa Paratroopa,
Mm,
I would buy that just because Koopa Paratroopa is one of the funnest things you can ever say.
true.
And there and he was the character I always played in Mario Kart when they introduced you being able to play as the Koopa kids.
Right. Okay. I would actually like to see Hammer Brother one too. Like Hammer Brothers, I thought were always
Remember the dope.
my favorite of like all of Mario's enemies. Like Hammer Brothers 3 were always my favorites. Um, Especially like in Mario 3 when you actually got to become a Hammer Brother. Like when you got that suit, it's like shut it the fuck down because I was all about that noise. Yep. I thought that was just so cool. And I thought Mario looked cool too. It was just like, oh, tables have turned. Even though it really was just like a fire flower with just a different angle, is all it really was.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of being a cross, you just kind of shot more into it like an upward curve. But just the sheer fact that like he looked like that was just for me.
Yeah. I wonder if they would eventually do like the water levels. Anything with this, I love cephalopods. So yeah, get those little squids. Do
Yeah.
do 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 do.
That's curious how they would do that with like Legos though.
I don't care. just make it.
Yeah.
Don't use logic. My daughter was trying to ask me the other day about if she was building something right with Legos, and I said it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It really does. It's what I told her. It's like it's Lego. It's 100% imagination, kid. You just whatever you want to build, you build.
You do.
And
Yeah.
so like, I'll build like a regular set, and then she'll like either just put like random shit on it. Like I built her like a little go-kart,
Mm-hmm.
and then we got her this set that has these little tiny babies in it. Like they make like little baby Legos. Like literally, it's a baby minifigure, and she wanted to have them sit in it. I'm like, they don't really fit. But I was like, I can find this one little plate that makes like the too wide plate that has like the little stud in there, so that way you can kind of center something.
Yeah.
I just put one of those on top of the seat, so that way it's centered that. So there's like a little Lego baby just sitting inside of a go-kart. If I can pull up the picture real quick and it won't look stupid on my phone. But yeah, Lego's the best thing, man. Like, I don't know if you saw the thing I had on Facebook where it was like the last game you played plus the last show you watched.
Yeah.
Like, if you combine that together, mine was Lego How I Met Your...
Nice.
I don't know how well this will get translated over on a screen, but yeah,
Pretty damn well.
that's a Lego go-kart with a little pink Lego baby that she calls... that one is Strawberry.
Aw.
There's a green one she calls Pickle.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm. She's smart as a button because she somehow, on her own, figured out that you can take the plates and you can put them inside the spacing between the studs.
Oh.
Yeah, which
Wow.
I have to admit that I didn't realize that till I was like 10. So.
Good on her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's a good kid.
Nice,
She alright. I'll keep her for now.
At least if she gets into grade school, then it's kind of debatable.
Well, we'll see where it goes. You know, if when she turns 5 and she's able to actually officially play hockey or officially do go-karts and she decides she hates all that, I might have to cut ties with her, send her on her own.
Trade her in.
Yeah, just put like a Facebook, marketplace.
Yep.
Want to sell 1 5-year-old. Yeah,
She's fine. Oh man. So what else? What else you got? Yeah.
Show me what you got. I watched all of Rick and Morty over the span of a week. That's
Including
about
the
as close
first
as
season?
thing. No, I don't have a way to watch Adult Swim,
Okay.
so I haven't.
What'd you think of it?
I enjoyed it. I couldn't. It just, to me, it seemed like someone's like, what if we made Back to the Future, but made Marty into Morty and then made him younger?
Well,
That's basically what it is.
Rick and Morty actually did start off as a Back to the Future parody, and it just sort of evolved into Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely. I mean, it's neat. I think there's plenty of episodes where it goes too far. It tries to be super duper smart, but it is what it is. I enjoyed it overall.
Yeah.
Compared to other adult-ish cartoons, it's pretty good.
Right on.
It's fun.
I still really enjoyed it too. Like I think it just like it has its moments of just like you're right where it does get really dark. But I think it kind of needs to be that way too because I feel like it's really easy for like maybe more like naive viewers to like want to emulate Rick, because he is kind of like the badass of the show. But it's at the same time too, and even Dan Harmon, the creator, has made it very very clear like you should not want to emulate this dude. He is a massive alcoholic, massive drug user, emotionally stunted. Like this is not a good person to emulate. So they have to have those kind of episodes to remind you, as many badass moments that Rick will have, like it does come with a very very heavy cost. And that
Rick is
cost
the
really
antagonist.
yeah, he really is. He's his own antagonist. That's the whole point.
He is the villain of the show.
Yeah.
It's basically like the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
He was the protagonist, but also technically the antagonist because he is technically the villain.
Yeah.
But it's like that with Rick. Like he's the one who kind of like controls the pacing of the show, and you kind of root for him and Morty. But he is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like he is what he is.
Yeah, like Vindicator's episode in season 3, where yeah, he is absolutely the villain throughout the whole thing because he got really drunk that night, created all those death traps. Yeah, he's the villain. He's 100% the villain of that episode.
Oh, is he Night Train?
Yeah. But then you have funny moments like that too. So I think that show does such a great job of just having that level of nuance. Because
it's a smart show. I will say that it not from just like the content being all like spacey and stuff, but like the way they do things. It almost reminds me a little bit like Letterkenny, where if you just take the text, it's a lot higher level than you would initially think from what you see on the screen.
Right. That still being said, my favorite TV show right now is still right now What We Do in the Shadows, which is just pure goofball, pure stupid, and it's amazing. It is still like to this day my favorite show.
I have not seen it. The show, I never saw the movie. Still need to see them at some point because it looked really really funny.
Do you have Hulu?
I do.
Yeah, it's on Hulu. The TV show's on Hulu, and it's so absolutely fantastic, amazing to watch.
I guess technically my favorite show right now would be Lego because it's the one I'm watching, but Westworld is back.
It is.
And that is very, very, over time has pretty much become probably, I think, not only my favorite TV show ever, but also I think it might be the best show ever. For me, it's so good.
Yeah.
And the new season is so cool.
I still need to catch up on season 2.
Yeah. Season 3 is neat because it's completely separate than they're not like
in the park.
Yeah, I guess that's the easiest way to do it. I don't want to spoil anything because I love the show so much. I would hate to like ruin it for somebody. But yeah, they're not in the park, so like it all takes place in our world.
Yeah.
And it's really, really interesting. Like some of the stuff that they have in there is really cool. And you can see some of like the influences they have from from other like science fiction works and stuff. And I'll just say spoiler alert because I guess it kind of is, but it's not like in the terms of ruining anything, but like they have people who are like selected for the job that they're supposed to do, and that reminds me of oh damn it, what's the movie? Brave New World.
Okay.
Because they're born and they're like selected based off like their genetic things or whatever to be like a worker or that kind of stuff. It reminds me of that a little bit.
Okay.
And that's one of my favorite books of all time. So
I need to catch up on that. I really do. I did end up watching Castlevania Season 3 on Netflix, and that is just out of this world good as well. Even if you're not into anime, if you're not into even video games, just to watch a very surprisingly mature story kind of unfold in front of you, it is incredibly good. And the violence and action scenes are absolutely wonderful too. Season 3 I was very impressed with the amount of nuance and the amount of complexity that they gave their characters. Particularly Alucard right here. They gave him some really interesting shit to do. But it's still totally a interesting Belmont story, and the villains are absolutely intriguing as hell too. Which they could have really.
I know next to nothing of the Castlevania storyline. I played the games when I was like a kid a little bit, but I never paid enough attention to what was going on.
Yeah,
I knew there were the Belmonts, and I was like, that's as far as I got.
Yeah, they definitely taken their interpretation of it too, so you don't need to know any sort of history or lore of the games for it, because they create their own version of everything. But it's the first episode alone just kind of gives you such a good take on how they're going to be telling the story, where it's much more, like I said, much more nuanced and much more complex than you think that it was going to be, which I absolutely give it credit for.
Now I gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Honestly, my biggest lasting memory from Castlevania, when I think of Castlevania, the first thing I think of is like the loading screen, because I used to watch my brother play it a lot, and I just remember it was like there was like rain and then like lightning and then the castle shows up and you hear like the like a werewolf howl and then like the loading and then it's like press start.
For
Is
the PlayStation 1 then, or
oh
has to be
shit, dude, I don't know. One of the cartridge ones maybe. I'm trying to remember.
I was saying that it wouldn't be the loading screen then.
Well, you know what I mean when you turn the game on and it.
Oh, like the title. Okay, I got
The
you.
boot screen.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
You know words when I say.
I know
things.
words when you say no words.
Let's see. I think the only other thing is that we have is that we finally get to play D&D again.
We are, yes. Hopefully, starting with the next week or two, we'll be back to doing our Saturday D&D session, which is I'm so excited for that. I cannot wait to be playing.
I can't
D&D.
wait.
It's gonna be fun.
I cannot wait. I don't know why, but for some reason, like that's the only thing I've wanted to do is like I just want to play D&D.
Same here. Absolutely.
I just want to take my druid, be completely useless in almost every capacity, and occasionally do something interesting. That's it.
That's the best way of playing it. Yep. So
I had a great idea. If we do another campaign with like different characters, I know exactly what I'm going to make as a character.
What?
I'm going to make a thief, but as a magician. So like basically what we consider magicians. So like they don't have magic. It's all just sleight of hand and like bullshit and nonsense. So I'm going to make a thief who's a traveling magician, and it's all just everything is going to go into like charisma and like dexterity.
Yeah. So it's gonna be like mind freaking people.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, it's all just like stupid sleight of hand, that kind of bullshit.
That would be really cool.
Just because that seems like that would.
I think that would be a fun character to play.
Yeah, that's up there with my the half ogre or the half giant whatever bard who just bangs on a tree stump.
Yeah.
You know that'd be fun.
Awesome.
But I love my druid.
Yeah.
So useless.
I still love my Genasi Fire Sorcerer too. I'm really excited to get back into playing Vanny again. It's gonna be fun.
And I'll be right there to provide color commentary and turn into random animals at some point now because I can.
Fantastic.
I'm just gonna turn into like a duck and just like fly like 2 feet above the ground.
There, but then you'll be the one who survives though too, because the monster's not gonna pay attention
right.
to the duck. They're gonna pay attention to all the other folks fucking with it.
That's right. Viewers, for those of you who don't know anything about our D&D campaign, it is set in a place, if you think of like Avatar with the floating rocks and shit like that, just bigger, and cities, like an entire like city is this giant thing on a floating rock. And I like to make my characters semi-realistic and give them all flaws because I thought you were supposed to.
Which you absolutely are.
My character's flaw is that he's afraid of heights.
Yep.
So I make my character walk around with a parachute everywhere.
And it's amazing. It is. And we've gotten into shenanigans too. It's so good. Like our Dungeon Master Tyler has done such a great job with this. So I'm really, really excited to get back into that.
Tyler has. We need to like record the next one just for almost if nothing else for like posterity's sake. So like 10 years down the line we can look back and be like, damn,
that was fun. Yeah.
That was.
I'll be down for that. So we'll try to do that then the next week or two. So, but with that, my social media links are right there. Sean's are right there. Thank you all so very much for hanging out with us. It's been too long since we've done this. Sean, always a pleasure, my friend.
Always a pleasure, buddy.
So for the Circle of Geeks and Vidcast, I'm Chris.
I'm Sean.
Thank you all very, very much. We will catch you guys another time.